the richest man who ever lived. In the early 14th century, when much of Europe was struggling through famine, war, and poverty, a powerful African empire was quietly dominating global trade, culture, and wealth. At its center stood a man so rich that modern economists still struggle to calculate his fortune. His name was Mansa Musa. Often described as the richest human being in history, Mansa Musa was not just wealthy, he was influential, educated, deeply religious, and politically strategic. His reign transformed West Africa and placed the Mali Empire firmly on the world map. This is the story of Mansa Musa, his rise, his empire, his legendary pilgrimage, and the legacy he left behind. The world before Mansa Musa. To understand Mansa Musa, we must first understand the Mali Empire. By the early 1300s, Mali was one of the most powerful states in the world. Located in West Africa, it controlled vast territories that stretched across modern-day Mali, Senegal, Guinea, Niger, and beyond. More importantly, Mali controlled key trade routes connecting sub-Saharan Africa to North Africa and the Mediterranean world. Gold, salt, ivory, and slaves flowed through Mali's cities. At the heart of this system were legendary trade hubs like Timbuktu, Gao, and Djenné. Gold was Mali's greatest treasure. At the time, West Africa produced over half of the world's gold supply. Whoever ruled Mali controlled global gold markets. And in 1312, that ruler became Mansa Musa. Who was Mansa Musa? Mansa Musa was born around 1280 into the royal Keita dynasty. His full name was Musa Keita I. The title Mansa means king or emperor. According to tradition, Musa became ruler after the previous emperor, his predecessor and relative, embarked on an ambitious expedition across the Atlantic Ocean and never returned. Whether that voyage was real or legendary remains debated, but what is certain is this: when Mansa Musa took the throne, Mali entered its golden age. An empire of wealth and order. Mansa Musa ruled Mali from 1312 to 1337, and under his leadership, the empire reached its greatest height. He expanded Mali's borders through diplomacy and military campaigns, securing control over key cities and trade routes. He installed loyal governors, improved taxation systems, and ensured safe passage for merchants. But unlike many conquerors, Mansa Musa believed wealth was meaningless without stability, education, and faith. He invested heavily in infrastructure, roads, mosques, palaces, and schools, turning Mali into one of the most organized states of its time. Yet the moment that would make Mansa Musa famous across the world was still to come. The pilgrimage that shocked the world. In 1324, Mansa Musa set out on a journey that would change global history, his Hajj, the Islamic pilgrimage to Mecca. What followed became legend. Mansa Musa traveled with an entourage reportedly numbering over 60,000 people. This included soldiers, officials, servants, and slaves, many dressed in fine silk and carrying gold staffs. Hundreds of camels accompanied the caravan, each carrying hundreds of pounds of pure gold. As Musa passed through cities like Cairo, Medina, and Mecca, he gave away gold freely to the poor, to scholars, to merchants, and to rulers. The result? He accidentally crashed entire economies. The gold that broke markets. In Cairo, Mansa Musa's generosity caused gold to lose its value. Prices skyrocketed, inflation followed. According to historical records, the Egyptian economy took over a decade to recover. This is one of the few times in history where a single individual directly influenced international economies simply by being too rich. European and Middle Eastern scholars were stunned. Chroniclers began writing about this African king with unimaginable wealth. For the first time, West Africa became a subject of global curiosity. Mansa Musa and the rise of Timbuktu. When Mansa Musa returned from Mecca, he brought more than stories. He returned with architects, scholars, and books from across the Islamic world. His goal was clear: to turn Mali into a center of learning and culture. Timbuktu became the jewel of his empire. He commissioned the construction of the Jingarebre Mosque, which still stands today. He supported universities, libraries, and madrasas. Timbuktu soon housed tens of thousands of manuscripts covering science, law, mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy. At its peak, Timbuktu rivaled Cairo and Baghdad as a center of education. This was not accidental, it was the vision of Mansa Musa. Religion, leadership, and character. Mansa Musa was a devout Muslim, but he ruled a diverse empire. Rather than forcing religious conversion, he allowed traditional African beliefs to coexist with Islam. This tolerance helped maintain unity across vast territories. He was known as a fair ruler, deeply committed to justice and respectful of scholars. In many ways, he represented a blend of African kingship and Islamic governance. His wealth was legendary, but his use of wealth defined his greatness. How rich was Mansa Musa? Historians often estimate Mansa Musa's fortune at over $400 billion in today's value, though some argue it was effectively limitless due to his control of gold. For comparison, he was wealthier than modern billionaires like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. His empire controlled global gold prices. His spending could destabilize economies. Yet, unlike many wealthy rulers, he invested heavily in public works, education, and religious institutions. The decline after his death. Mansa Musa died around 1337. Sadly, his successors failed to maintain the empire's strength. Internal conflicts, weak leadership, and external pressures slowly weakened Mali. By the 15th century, Mali's dominance faded, eventually replaced by the Songhai Empire. But Mansa Musa's legacy endured. Mansa Musa on the world map. One of the most famous depictions of Mansa Musa appears on the Catalan Atlas of 1375, a European map showing him seated on a throne holding a golden orb, symbolizing Africa's vast wealth. For medieval Europe, Mansa Musa became the face of African power and prosperity. Even centuries later, his name continues to challenge outdated narratives about Africa's past. Why Mansa Musa still matters today. Mansa Musa's story matters because it proves that Africa was not isolated, backward, or poor before colonialism. It was sophisticated, educated, economically powerful. His reign reminds us that wealth, when combined with vision, can uplift entire civilizations. Conclusion. Mansa Musa was more than the richest man in history. He was a builder of cities, a patron of knowledge, a ruler who reshaped global perceptions of Africa. And centuries later, his story still shines like gold.